Very quick disclaimer from me before we start this video. If you have not watched Season 2 or Season 1 of Let's Go Villa, I'm going to put the playlist, at least for this season, up in the top corner over there so you can catch up with it, because this is the season review for Season 2. How are we doing, guys, and welcome to episode 14 of Let's Go Villa. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video, where we're going to be rounding up the season that was Season 2 of the Let's Go Villa save. And if you're looking forward to seeing how the season review goes and what lovely transfers we make in the transfer window as well, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager content that comes, including the FM23 content that is soon to come when the beta drops. We're here for the season review. Let's get into it, shall we? It was a fantastic season. Before we even need to jump into it, we know it was a fantastic season. There's 2 trophies on the front there that exemplify that. We'll start off with the new arrivals. We did make a number of transfers, especially compared to Season 1. We did spend a lot of money, and the biggest signing apparently was Pedro Gonçalves. I would say there's a few players who can compete for this honour. I would say he's definitely one of them. 24 years old. We paid £30 million for him. Remember, most of the transfers we made, we actually paid up front. Tried not to use any instalments at all. I think the only player that we failed on in terms of that were, I can't remember actually, but I know there was at least one player. It might have been Max Aarons. But Pedro Gonçalves, 12 goals, 8 assists in 54 appearances. Good effort, very good effort indeed. He was one of the better players that we signed. We also signed a few players along the lines of Frederick Bjorkan. Came in as our backup fullback. I think he's going to be our backup left back for life, to be honest with you. He's just a player who can just slot in there. No fuss, no muss. Got an A- from the board. Excellent stuff. Christopher Ajer. This is a bit of a difficult one because we're judging him coming in as well as John Mcginn going out. It was a deal that was tied to that. So John Mcginn left us. Didn't have a good first season, so we decided to cash in on him. And I think Christopher Ajer did much better. We got him to agree a lower wage, apparently, so that was good. Scored 11 goals. A lot of those were from centre-back. Some of them were from defensive midfield. They were mostly from corners, but he did score one worldie, I remember, which was fantastic. Got a few assists as well. Good effort. Nick Pope was a bit disappointing, I'm not going to lie. Brought him in for £8 million. I think that's a bargain, but I do think we'll probably try and move him on because as a backup goalkeeper, he did not fill me with confidence. He made a number of mistakes, which were really frustrating. Victor Lindelof was definitely only brought in because we changed Christopher Ajer's position. He was brought in originally as a defensive midfielder, as a centre-back, sorry. We changed him to a defensive midfielder. That meant we needed cover at centre-back. Lindelof came in, honestly, really good job from him. Didn't score or anything like that, but was a solid presence at the back, and I was really impressed with him. We've covered Pedro. Vitinha, a little bit disappointing, a little bit underwhelming, but honestly got better as the season went on, and almost every single one of those goals was a worldie. So I'll credit where it's due. £20 million as well. I actually think he is a better player than £20 million. So very happy with him in terms of that, and he was starting to look a lot better as the season went on, so I think he might be settled now, so hopefully we'll see a bit more from him. Max Aarons, £27 million. We'll get on to him. There's a player here, actually, who is very notable in the absence. I think he'll be on the next screen. Brought in as our second choice right back or rotation right back, our second attempt at that of the season. We'll get on to the first one in a minute, I'm sure, but £27 million. He'll get better, hopefully. He's a defensive option more than an offensive option. He's 23 years old. He's got time to improve. But he wasn't terrible. He wasn't awful. Jens Petter Haag, brought him in for nothing. For nothing. I still don't know how that happened, but for nothing. And did a solid enough job for us when was called upon. Spent the first half of the season out on loan at not at Frankfurt. He went somewhere else. But then we brought him back in January. And he did all right for us. A couple of goals, a couple of assists. Happy days. Alvaro Carrillo's on here as well. We actually signed him last season, and he's going to feature in the first team if we don't send him out on loan this year, but we need to. I really need to change him from a centre-back to a midfielder. He's got the stats, in my opinion, to be a decent midfielder. The passing, the vision, they're not exceptional, but he could do a job as a half-back. He could do a job as the defensive midfielder, in my opinion. Certainly more than he could do as a centre-back. 5'11". I know it's not the end of the world, but jumping reach of 13 does not fill me with confidence, if I'm being honest with you. So we're going to try and get him to be that defensive midfielder. I think it will work. Transfers out. We know about John Mcginn, who is not going to be on this list. Is he? Or did I see him in the middle? There he is. John Mcginn. I'm going to cover him first because it might be a bit of a controversial one. In real life, John Mcginn is awesome. I love John McGinn. In this save, he was trash for us, so we just moved him on. Actually didn't have a good season at Brentford, but he was part of the swap deal that brought Christopher Ayer to us, so it is what it is. Right at the top of the list, Robin Olsen left at the beginning of the summer. He went to Real Madrid. Utterly ridiculous, £6.5 million. I think we made a bit of a profit on him, and he's only made 4 appearances, but he made 4 good appearances, so good on him. Atletico Madrid then signed Boubacar Kamara in January. We moved him on because he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave in the summer. We kept him until January, and we ended up just cashing in on him. We had some more money than we paid, so he did make a profit. Happy days. Leon Bailey in the summer wouldn't sign a contract below a ridiculous amount of money. We moved him on. He's had a good time. We made a profit on him. Happy days. This guy, Pablo Maffeo, oh my word. I do not like him. I do not like him at all. 1 goal, 5 assists. He's had a decent time over at Spurs, but he'll probably last for a couple of seasons and then he'll annoy everyone around there. Not unhappy to see him go, even though we paid a decent amount of money for him. We did make a little bit of a profit on him, but I was more concerned with just getting him out of the club. Jed Steer left as well. Not really that bothered about that. Same with Kane Kessler-Hayden. James Wright, don't care. Wesley Moraes, in the nicest way. The injury that he had a couple of seasons ago in real life, he's never been the same player since. We've moved him on in real life. We moved him on in this save. It is what it is. Philogene Bidace, this is one that I was a little bit unsure about, but I do think we made the right decision. He was never going to get into our team as a 3-star player, but he has got some decent stats, so he's doing a job for Leeds. Scored a goal for them in 2 appearances. Good on him. Ashley Young left on a free transfer as well. John McGinn we've already mentioned. Callum Chambers, £31 million is ridiculous. We made a profit on him. Absolutely insane. Courtney Hawes, £13.5 million. Good amount of money. Dominic Revan, not really that bothered. Keenan Davis, that's ridiculous. £7.5 million for Keenan Davis. Are you sure, Luton? Are you sure? And then a few other players as well who don't really matter. Going on to the results of the season, it's been a ridiculous season yet again. We've actually somehow improved on last season. Starting with the FA Cup. We're back-to-back FA Cup champions. Don't know how we did that, but we did. And it's not like we had an easy run either. Yes, we started off against Carlisle, but Manchester United beat them. Good effort. Blackburn, fine, is what it is, although we really struggled to get past them. Chelsea, they're a good team even though they're struggling. Everton, you'd expect us to get past them. And then we ended up beating Liverpool in extra time in the final. Cole Palmer was our top goal scorer with 5 goals. Cole Palmer, chef's kiss. Great season for him. Community Shield, most important trophy in the world of football. Did lose against Liverpool. Got battered 3-1. But we will be having that in this episode as well. And it will be revenge because we will be playing Liverpool again. So keep that in mind. Carabao Cup, not going to lie. It's the cup that I forgot about, but we did end up winning it. And as you can see, up until the final, we played Blackburn twice. I didn't realise that. And Everton as well. We played Everton in 2 semi-finals. Utterly ridiculous. We had a relatively easy run until the final where we beat Manchester United in the cup final that we forgot that we were in. And we did manage to bring the trophy home. Champions League, we did very well. We were expected to get to the first knockout round. I actually don't think we were. I'm pretty sure the board wanted us just to be competitive in the group stage. We got to the semi-final, got knocked out by Manchester City. That first leg tie is what did us in. This is wrong. That should be green because we actually beat them 3-1 in the second leg. Don't know why that's gone red, but we did lose the tie overall, so it might be something to do with that. Danny Ings, our top goal scorer in that competition with 5 goals. We've done pretty well there. 2 losses against Paris Saint-Germain in the group stage, but then we did get revenge against them in the quarter-final. But again, Man City knocking us out in the semi. And Premier League, we've matched what we did last season. I want to see what points we got last year, actually, because 84 points apparently is a club record. Good effort from us, very good effort. We were not that far off the top, not in the slightest. 6 losses, 6 draws, only 2 wins away from being on level with Liverpool. And we've shown we can compete against them as well, which is ridiculous when you look at the squad that we've got. 17 goals from Ollie Watkins in the league. I think that's an area we do need to look at. Striker, we've got 2 very capable strikers who can get between 10 and 20 goals a season, but I do think we need to have a look at it, and we do need to see what we can do up front. If we can move one of them on, ideally probably Danny Ings, just because he is a bit older. I think that's going to be the thing we need to do. But once again, we've done really well. The board only wanted us to qualify for the Europa League. We went ahead of that, and we went and qualified for the Champions League yet again. And again, some really good runs of football. A couple of roughish runs in the middle here as well, but can be very proud of that. Moments to remember, we battered Porto 6-1, which confirmed our Champions League status for the knockouts. Very good performance. Gonçalves, a couple from Buendia, and a hat-trick from Danny Ings, doing well for us. Match to remember, apparently it was in February, where we battered Chelsea 3-0 in the Premier League. Coutinho, Gonçalves and Danny Ings. And then the goal of the season, I knew it was either going to be a Vitinha goal, a Douglas Luiz goal, or possibly a Sander Berge goal, because all three of them, and also a Christopher Ra goal actually, because all three of them have scored some worldies. This one from Vitinha apparently is the one. We are going to have a look at it, because I'm intrigued to see which one it is, because Vitinha has been a bit of a worldie merchant this season. He's been incredible. We are going to have a look at it, because I just want to know which one it is. They all look very similar. They're from outside the box. They tend to go in the air. They tend to curl in the top the corner. And they tend to make me go, oh, what a goal! Or something along those lines. Let's see which one it is. Right, Parma gets it out to Buendia. Buendia is going to try and cut it back, I think, just to the edge of the area. He does. Gets to Vitinha. And I'm not going to lie, I have seen him score better goals. I've seen Douglas Luiz, Sander Berge and Christopher Ajer score better goals. But it is still a lovely goal. Very nice indeed. Against, I think, does Vitinha played? I think Vitinha might have played for Wolves as well at one point. Yeah, he's in a Wolves shirt there, Stu. That probably gives it away. Goodness me. It's a great goal anyway. Financially, the only thing that's gone down is broadcast revenue, which is a bit of a surprise. It's gone down quite a bit as well, by 8 million. However, everything else has gone up. £4 million up on the sponsorship. We've gone £1 million up on corporate and hospitality. We've got a bunch up on prize money. Excellent. And even the match day revenue's gone up as well. In terms of shirt sales, Coutinho is number one, and then we've got Pedro, Watkins, Buendia and Ings all as our top shirt sellers, and we have finally gone up to 4-star reputation as well, which is a result. Team of the season, that looks about right. It is Martinez in goal, Cash, Mings, Konsa, Digne in defence, Ajer, Gonçalves and Vitinha in the midfield, with Cole Palmer, Felipe Coutinho and Ollie Watkins up front. I'd agree with all of that, to be honest with you. I would. I think Buendia can count himself a little bit unlucky, but then he did pick up that injury towards the end of the season. So Palmer and Coutinho were our standard wingers. And also Cole Palmer, 17 goals, 17 assists. Are you sure, Cole? Are you sure? That's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. He he out-goal contributed Felipe Coutinho. He out-goal contributed Ollie Watkins. Cole Palmer, I'm so glad we've signed him on a permanent, because that is incredible. Absolutely incredible. He's got to be one of our players of the season. We've not got to that bit yet. That's going to be coming up next. I'm interested to see who does get that award. He's got to be in contention with it. I think it's going to be him and Ajer, and possibly Tyrone Mings as well, looking at the ratings. But yeah, completely agree with that. Accolades. Player of the season, apparently it's Ezri Konsa. What do I know? What do I know? I would not have given it to him. I certainly wouldn't have given Young Player of the Season to Fredrik Bjorkan. I think Cole Palmer can see himself very unlucky to not win both of those. On the Manager of the Year. Stuff all that on the Manager of the Year. I mean, third place in a row with Aston Villa. Yeah, sure, of course I would be. It is Ezri Konsa as the Fans Player of the Season. Young Player is Bjorkan. Disagree with both of those, but it is what it is. Signing of the season, Pedro Gonçalves. I'd agree with it. I would say Cole Palmer as well could be counted, because we signed him on loan and on permanent, but fine, Pedro's been great as well. Goal of the season, Vitinha. I agree, just not with the goal that they chose. Top goal scorer, Ollie Watkins, 25. Again, I think if we want to start challenging, we need to have someone who's getting 30-something goals a season, all told, in all competitions. Most assists is Coutinho with 19. Lucas Digne wasn't too far behind either. No, it was Cole Palmer, who got 8 Player of the Match awards, which means he gets the award for that. Highest average rating was Tyrone Mings with 7.3. And most passes completed per 90 minutes, Tyrone Mings as well, with 77. Competition awards, there were none. Bit disappointing. Record breakers, however. Most assists by a player in the season, Felipe Coutinho with 19. Good effort, son. Most clean sheets by a player in the season, Emi Martinez. I don't know whether he got the record in the end, because he was on track for it. And then again, as we mentioned, most player of the match awards, Cole Palmer with 8 breaks the record as well. We have had a ridiculous season, it has to be said. Utterly ridiculous. And I'm very proud of the boys. And again, I do just want to have a quick look at the Premier League table and see it compared to last season. So we got 84 points this year. Last season we got 70. Look at how low scoring points-wise it was last season compared to this season. This season, 91 points. Nearly a full 10 points more for Liverpool than last season. The teams that were good this season were much better than the teams that were good last season. And it's the same top 3. Exactly the same top 3. Just Leeds are swapped with Leicester. Leicester squeaking into the top 4. Leeds ended up becoming a mid-table side. And Bournemouth ended up going into Europe as well, which is utterly ridiculous. Relegated teams for this season as well. Luton never really stood a chance. They signed Keenan Davis to be the top striker. No offence to Keenan Davis. I'm sure you're a nice lad, but It's not going to happen, really, is it? Brentford ended up getting relegated, and Sheffield United, we actually pillaged both of them for two of their better players in the midfield, Sander Berge and Christopher Ayer. Sander Berge we signed last season, Christopher Ayer we signed this year. Sorry, lads. Obviously, John McGinn wasn't meant to keep Brentford up, but we've done very, very well. Now, we've got a few things to do here. Club vision and expectations. What do they want from us? They want us to qualify for the Conference League and reach the first knockout round of the Champions League. They actually want us to go a little bit backwards on the Europa League. They want us to qualify for that. But then the season afterwards, they want us to qualify for the Champions League. I mean, sure. If you're sure about that, boys, we'll try and do that. I don't think... what else is it? Increase commercial revenue. I mean, I'm assuming we have to do that by signing a player who brings in a merchandise boost. So that's preferred. We don't need to worry too much about it, but it would be better if we can do it. We're just going to accept all of that, I think. Because that's the only new thing other than qualify for the Champions League there. We've already qualified 2 years in a row. I don't think we need to worry about that too much. In terms of the end of season team meeting, we'll do in a minute. But training camp destination... I know you can't see this because I'm in the way. It's China, USA or Singapore. I tend to go to USA. We're just going to stick with that. I like going to the USA. And I don't know who you are. Apparently on my shortlist. Esposito. We're not signing Esposito this season. It would be utterly ridiculous. Allison ended up getting the clean sheet. Oh, that's gutting. That's gutting. They got the same amount, actually. So, Why did Allison get it? Why did Allison get it? They're level. They're level on it. Surely... it's going to be down to games played, isn't it? It's going to be down to games played. Who played the most games? See, Emi Martinez made one substitute appearance when I got really frustrated with Nick Pope. That's what's done it. That's what's done it. And his record of conceding per 90 minutes is a bit higher as well. That's a shame. But Emi Martinez deserved to get it. He's come second. I'll take second, or joint top if you want to call it that. I will take that, but it's gutting that it's technically got him as second. Again, I'm manager of the year. The chairman's happy about me being manager of the year. I'm happy about me being manager of the year, to be honest with you. Very happy indeed. Right, let's have a chat with the team. End of season. We're going to tell them what we're planning. And we are planning to... we'll say Europa League. Yeah, perfect. It wasn't actually a chance for the Europa Conference League on there. And then we're going to try and get to the knockout rounds. Yeah. Yes, boys. Yes, boys. We'll discuss plans then, and then have a good break, boys. That went really well. That went really well. Happy days. Right. Transfers. We need to have a look at this squad, and we need to decide exactly what we're going to be doing. Okay, my initial thoughts are these are the positions we need to invest in. It is one player per position. We're just looking basically for rotation options for the first 11, because I think the first 11 is fine, to be honest with you. The only area I'm looking at and thinking we could do with an upgrade is possibly central defence. Konsa and Mings have done well this season. Diego Carlos did start off well, but at 30 years old, I do think we need to move him on. I think Tyrone Mings is 31. He's 30 years old as well, but I'd rather hang on to Tyrone Mings because in the nicest possible way, he's our captain. I don't really want to bin him off straight away. So if we're going to get rid of one of them, I think Diego Carlos is the one. He's not going to like it, but I think he has to be the guy we move on, if I'm being completely honest. So we'll definitely bring in someone to be a partner for at least Tyrone Mings, but maybe even someone to go over the top of Ezri Konsa, the same way that we brought in Christopher Ayer before we ended up changing him to defensive midfield. So that's my plans there. Nick Pope can get out the door. He's made mistakes this season, and although I know he's a good goalkeeper in real life, and I'm sure if you use him as your first choice goalkeeper in the game, he's good, he's not suited to being a backup, I don't think, so we're going to try and move him on as well. So he'll be a backup, whoever that is. D-line playmaker, I'm a bit unsure about this one because Felipe Coutinho could play there, and I'm debating maybe changing it so we get two wingers instead. However, I do think we're going to move on Douglas Luiz. As good as Douglas Luiz has been, I don't know. I feel like there's enough value there to justify moving him on, and I just think there's times when he's been really good, but I think I'm skewed by the fact that he's scored a couple of worldies in some of these competitions. He's actually scored some really nice goals. So I think we might just move him on, get him out of the club, bring someone else in who's bespoke as a playmaker. That is what I'm thinking. We're not going to bother with another Mazzala. Jacob Ramsey can do the job for Pedro Gonçalves if needed as well. That's the only thing that makes me kind of want to hang on to Douglas, though. He can play as a Mazzala as well, but then so could Coutinho. So we've got that as an option as well. On the left, though, I am considering letting Jens Petter Hard go. He did all right for us. He wasn't spectacular, but we bought him in for free. We could get up to £30 million for him. I'd be ridiculous not to consider that. I'd be utterly ridiculous not to consider that. And then, as I mentioned previously, Ollie Watkins, I think we'll hang on to. He's 26, 27 years old. Danny Ings is 30 years old and has got more of an injury record. Didn't end up scoring more than Ollie Watkins this season, and honestly disappointed me more than Ollie Watkins did. But he did score a bunch of goals, so it is difficult. But I do think we'll move him on. Again, his value, looking at him, up to £58 million. Even if we get the low end of that, it will still be good. £44 million for Ollie. We'll get rid of the one who's worth the more money, I think. So it is a bit of a rejig in terms of players. We're going to have to hope that some teams want to come in for some of these boys, because we haven't put them on the transfer list yet. But we are getting Jeremy Bogger leaving the club. Go PARMA obviously is coming in on a permanent on the 30th. So we have got options in terms of what we can do. We'll have more money coming when we sell a few of these boys as well. As it stands, we do have 39 million pounds. So we've got a decent amount of money. We've got 42 million pounds in the kitty. We'll get some more money coming in, I imagine, at some point soon as well. So that's the plan. We're going to stick with this tactic as well. It feels like the right one to go with at the moment. And yeah, we'll see what we do. I'm not 100% sure who we're going to bring in for some of these positions. We're going to have to go through the scout reports. But the striker, I do think, has to be someone who is going to start for us. I mean, I know I looked at Esposito was on the list there. I know he was that. I'm not going to go for Sebastiano Esposito. It's an obvious one to go for. I went with him with Parma. I stuck with him with Parma. We're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that. But there's other strikers out there we can go for. Amine Gouiri has come up on a few scout reports. So although I used him at West Ham and I did use him at Villa last year, I'm still very tempted. So we'll see what happens. Let's just go ahead. I'm going to continue on until the 1st of July. If anything comes up between now and then that I think I need to bring to you, I will do. But if not, I'll see you then and show you some of the transfers that we've made and the players we've kicked out of the club as well. See you in a minute. Well, it's the 1st of July and it's been a huge transfer window so far, but not for the reasons you'd probably be expecting. You might notice transfer budget, 123 million. We've made some deals. We've made one huge transfer ourselves, but actually the biggest stuff has been sales. So prepare yourself. Diego Carlos, he went to Real Madrid for £53 million. Now, it's 10 million less than his release clause. However, he was signed for £26 million by Villa. We've made we've doubled his transfer fee, basically. So I'm very happy with that one. So that's the first transfer that was out the door. He's a youngster, don't really care about him. PSG, however, signs Danny Ings and Declan Rice. I didn't know about that one. Whoa, Declan. Talk about getting your big move. What a player he is. What a player he is. But Danny Ings has gone. He is a fan favourite. He will be missed. However, we have upgraded him. I'll show you who we've upgraded him on in a moment. But yeah, Danny Ings has gone. £45 million. I wanted more than that, I'll be honest with you. But again, we did not pay that much for him. We paid 30 million. So we've made a healthy profit on him. But gone to PSG. Good on you, Danny. Good on you. Aaron O'Reilly. Yeah, youngster. Doesn't really matter. Albin Goodrich, doesn't matter, he's gone. He's gone as well. And they're the main transfers that we have made on deadline, not on deadline day, on the 1st of July. But we did make, well, we've got some in process as well. I should point that out. So these are the transfers that we've currently got going on at the moment that haven't been confirmed. Thiat is going to be joining us. I feel like you saw it on at one of the transfer specials, either season 1 or season 2. I think it was season 2 at the beginning of that. We were looking at him. £16 million is an absolute steal. We've had to pay a few more pennies for wages than we would have liked to because other clubs were in for him, but he is going to be joining us. He's going to be our backup left-sided central defender. We know him from the Parma save. We know he can be decent. He's going to come in as backup, but I think he'll be a very, very good signing for us. In terms of a deep line playmaker to sit next to Gonçalves, Ilic and Olmo, these are the two players we're looking at. Around the same kind of fee. We're still waiting for them to be accepted or rejected. Ilic is the one I'm leaning towards because he's more defensive. However, it's Danny Olmo. It's Danny Olmo. I'm kind of torn. I'm going to see which one gets accepted, which one gets rejected, and we'll see what happens. Emil Smith-Rowe, I mean, we'll do this one while we're on camera. Yeah, that's not going to happen. This was going to be my left-sided attacking midfielder. 103 million. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we'll just reject that one outright. But there is one huge transfer we have made. Tammy bloody Abraham. He's back at Aston Villa. He came up on a scout report. He didn't really want to come, if I'm being honest with you. We've thrown a lot of money at him. I'll be honest with you, I've overpaid. I've really overpaid. £220,000 a week for Tammy Abraham is ridiculous. Bearing in mind, he only scored 31 goals in 73 appearances at Roma. I couldn't help myself, and it's because of that season there. 25 goals and 37 in the Championship. He helped us get promoted, and there's a lot of tenure there for me. There's a lot of there's a lot there for me to kind of give him credit where it's due. And he's had 2 very good seasons in Rome, don't get me wrong. So I'm happy to give him a chance. But I do think he could come good in this team. I mean, look at his stats. Finishing's only a 15. I say only 15. It's still good. But he's a big lad who's quick. He's going to destroy defences. He's like a budget Harry Kane. Okay, his passing's not quite as good, but it's not that bad. But he's got flair. He's big. He's quick. He's strong. He's going to bulldoze defences. I'm really happy to have him in the side. Really happy indeed. We are still waiting to get a few players in. Obviously, you've seen that we've got Thiat coming in this spot. We are still looking for another defender. We went for Zabani, and he rejected us. He's gone to Monaco instead. So I'm a little bit gutted about that. Nick Pope has gone as well, actually. Yeah, we haven't talked about Nick Pope. So hang on, let's do it this way. We know Go PARMA's in. Here's a good list of the players who have left. So, Jens Petter Hage has gone £41 million to Inter Milan as well. We've sold a few fringe players as well. Bertrand Traoré's transfer permanent has confirmed. He's gone to Crystal Palace. We sorted that out last season when he was loaned out. Nick Pope is not on this list. He must have been technically last season. Yes, he was. Nick Pope went to Trabzonspor for £13.25 million. We got rid of him. It's absolutely fine. I don't know whether I showed you this guy, but this is a guy for the future. Giacomo Faticanti. Faticanti? I think it's going to be Faticanti. We're going to be sending him out on loan, I think. He is on the loan list, ready to go. I mean, he looks like he's going to be a superstar in the future. Signed him from Rome as well, so he's going to be a pal of Tammy Abraham's. You can think that we brought them in together if you'd like to, but they're both in as well. And when we've spent a ridiculous amount of money already. Last season, technically, we spent 180 million. This season so far, we've spent 30 on Go PARMA. We've made 156 million so far this season. That doesn't include Nick Pope leaving the club as well. So bearing that in mind as well, it's more like what is that, 170 or something like that. So we've still got business to do. Business is still being done. We definitely don't want Emerson. I don't know why I'm being shown that. Again, central defenders, this one's covered. We need a right-sided central defender. We were looking at Jean-Claire Todibo, but the amount of money he wanted per week was utterly ridiculous. I mean, bearing in mind with Tammy Abraham, he's the highest paid player at the club by nearly £100,000 a week. We're not having anyone go anywhere near this, I don't think, and we're definitely not having anyone go over £130,000 with Lucas Digne. All of this club stuff, though, is still really, really good. But as we add players in, that is going to affect it. But that deep line player role, we need someone in this wing position as well. One defender and a backup goalkeeper. But we've got a lot of money to do it. And also, Douglas Luiz, I don't know if you saw, he's on his way out of the club. £52 million from Hertha. That's a lot of money. That's an awful lot of money. I don't actually think anyone else is currently in for him. Newcastle were in a bit of a bidding war. We're going to counter offer just in case. But Newcastle were interested. Paris Saint-Germain were interested as well. Yeah, Newcastle's still interested. We'll put him down to 53 and see if we can just get them back interested in a bidding war. But Paris Saint-Germain were interested in him. Obviously, they're not anymore. Aaron Ramsey wanted for loan. Is he up to a 2-star player ability yet? If he is, I might keep him. No, he's not. We'll loan him back out. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, we're going to carry on forward. We're going to see if we can make some more transfer deals. And we're going to see what this squad's going to look like come the Community Shields. Hopefully, it's going to look really good. Or I'll balls up some more transfers like I did the Zabiani transfer. But we're not all perfect, are we? Okay, I'm going to say our transfer business is more or less done. We've got one more position that I identified that we needed strengthening in to come into the club. But I'm pretty happy with the business we've done. You guys saw up to Arthur Thiat. He had already come in. We did sign a youngster as well, but then we signed a backup goalkeeper. I'll be honest with you, this one, not quite as good as I was hoping. But he's young. He's got room to improve by half a star. Etienne Green, English goalkeeper from Saint-Etienne. I love the fact that he's from Saint-Etienne and his name's Etienne. I love that quite a bit. I'll be honest with you, he scouted better than that. We'll go with him and we'll see how he does. He's been okay in pre-season. I mean, to be fair, he's played 3 times. He's conceded 6 goals. Sorry, he's played 6 times, actually. So a goal a game. It's fine. We'll see how he goes. If we need to bring someone in, we should have a few pennies left. But I think he'll do a decent enough job. I mean, he's down as backup. it means we shouldn't have to play him too much. I mean, he's a championship goalkeeper. He'll do as a backup for the Premier League. We then spent money on a player I said I wasn't going to sign, Jean-Claire Todibo. We brought him in, paying him £120,000 a week. I didn't really want to pay that. However, I could not find a really top quality right-sided central defender. Or, to be fair, I don't think he actually has a preference. A central defender who can play on the right side. I don't think we could find anyone who was better than him for less. It just felt like the thing to do. So we brought him in for £30 million. £30 million for a guy of this quality is a steal. Man City, I think, we're looking at him as well. Someone else was looking at him. It might have been Spurs. But we got in there. We managed to make the deal happen. I mean, look at his value now, up to £68 million. Paid a lot of money for him, not going to lie to you. And he has got a minimum release clause for foreign clubs of £70 million. But if we end up having to sell him for £70 million, that is good business. You also might remember this man, Emil Smith-Rowe. We brought him in. I know I rejected it in the last part of the video. We got it down to 70 million up front and 10 million in add-ons. Well, I think it was 71 million up front and 9 million on add-ons because reasons. But we brought him in. He's a 4-star player. He's absolutely superb. Somehow hasn't made an England cap yet. By the end of this save, I'd like to think we've sorted that out. He is likely going to be our starting left winger. I'll get onto that in a moment. Our starting left winger. I think he looks superb. And this is one of those transfers that the Todibo one, the Tammy one, you could argue maybe they're not that realistic. Emil Smith-Rowe was linked with Aston Villa. I think it was this summer just gone or the summer before. It's a semi-realistic transfer. He was linked. Arsenal didn't want to sell. In this universe, Arsenal have sold. There was a lot of media reports actually quoting the Arsenal manager in this game saying he's definitely not going anywhere. He'd already accepted the transfer offer and he was saying he's not going anywhere. But he's in. He's only just joined, so he won't be playing in the Community Shields, but he will be a crucial part of the squad. And then we signed Brandon Williams on loan. This is cover. This is pure cover. I'll be honest with you. I read 7 days when I signed him. I didn't realise he'd be out for 3 weeks, but he's cover at the fullback areas. That's all he is in for. And I think he'll do a decent job. In terms of outs, I don't know if Douglas Luiz had been confirmed to have left. I don't think he had, but he has gone to Newcastle. He is their new star player. I mean, his value there was not the same as what it was a minute ago, but he's worth a lot of money. We sold him for 53. I think it's the same amount we sold Douglas Costa for. I'll be honest with you. I would have happily held on to him, but I didn't really know what his best position was. Was it defensive midfield? Was it as a playmaker? Was it as a Mazzala? Box to box? Ball-winning midfielder? I don't really know. And I'll be honest with you, I got a bit fed up of not knowing, so we've made a massive profit on him instead. But he's played a lot of football for us. I mean, even in the last 2 seasons, he was not a regular for us, but he played a lot of games. 15 starts, 15 substitution appearances, 15 starts, 18 substitution appearances. Played a lot of football. Didn't really get high ratings, though. So I think, to go to Newcastle, have him. Take him. Absolutely take him. We are in the offing of 2 more transfers, though. One of them is a left winger. I know you're probably thinking, but Stu, you've got Coutinho and you've got Smith-Rowe. Why do you need a left winger? It's Giacomo Raspadori. This guy I've seen in other saves is an absolute monster, but we're bringing him in to be a left winger, either an inside forward or an inverted winger, one or t'other. I think he's going to be really good there. We are signing him to be our backup. He's got a lot of potential as well. I mean, if you played FM, you probably know about this guy. He is pretty spectacular, I think. 3 caps for Italy as well. Lovely stuff. We are just waiting for the deal to go through. We've offered him a contract. No one else is in for him. Unless something drastically goes wrong, he will be our new winger. And we're also looking to sign Paulo Fornals in on loan. He was on loan at Newcastle last season from West Ham. West Ham want to get rid of him. We offered him a deal on loan. But as soon as we did that, a bunch of teams came in for him, offering £23 million. Be honest with you, I don't want to spend £23 million on him. If it was £10 million, I would just put in an offer. But we're basically waiting to see whether he accepts our offer of a loan or whether he accepts to leave to go to Atalanta, Nice or Sevilla. Now, Atalanta and Sevilla are either not in European football or they're only in the Europa League. Nice, I think, got into the Champions League. We are offering him guaranteed Champions League football. That is something to remember. But I actually think he would do a job for us. Could come in as a midfielder in the middle. Could play a defensive midfielder out of push. Could also play out on the left as well. Now, the reason why I'm saying Raspadori and Emil Smith-Rowe are left-sided players is because we have solved the deep line playmaker issue. We're putting Coutinho there. I say we've solved it. I don't know if I'd go that far. It's not his natural position. He's not a very defensive player. We are asking him to do something that's kind of out of his wheelhouse. We could put him as an advanced playmaker if we really thought he was going to struggle there. But I know he can do well from the Parma save, and I know the Parma save is not the be-all and end-all. We've got him training his defensive positioning as if that's going to make any difference to the 31. But I know his stats here are going to go down, and at some point I'm going to be told he'll be better suited to life as a central midfielder. So we're making that change now. He's going to go in the middle. He's going to be Vitinha's partner, swapping in and out. So those two will rotate those positions. But if Paulo Fornals joins, we've got another person who can go there. So if for some reason Coutinho's not working there, we can switch Coutinho back out onto the wing, and we can have Raspadori be a backup striker or whatever. It's fine. It's okay. One thing that happened before I started recording, though, Emi Buendia is not very happy. If you look over here, wants a new deal I can't speak. Basically, he's really annoyed. Annoyingly, though, he's really not very happy with us as well. Basically, wanted a new contract. I offered it him. He wanted to become the second highest paid player at the club. He's a good player. He's 4-star ability, 4-star potential. He is a very, very good player. But I mean, another club with better finances, I might give him it. But he's on 80,000 a week. He wanted nearly £100,000 more than what he's currently on. He would have been the second highest paid player at the club. I just couldn't do it. So we tried to counter offer. It didn't work. And then we had the chat where he said, you said you were going to offer me a decent contract. And me being me, I said, I did offer you a decent contract. You refused it, you plank. It didn't go very well. So at the moment, what I'm waiting on is Real Madrid. I don't know whether it will say on here. It doesn't say on here at the moment. There was a news report a while ago saying Real Madrid were interested in him. No offer came. It's no longer there. It was never there, actually. It was a news report. So I am actually kind of hoping Real Madrid come in for him. But if they don't, I'm hoping we can regain his trust and maybe, just maybe, try and get a slightly smaller contract for him. And then I'd be happy. All of which is to say, it's time for the most important trophy in the world of football. It's time for the Community Shields. And this is the 11 we're going to be taking to Wembley to play against Liverpool. I'll probably get battered, let's be honest with you. It's Martinez in goal, Cash, Consa, Mings, Digne in defence, Aya, Gonçalves and Vitinha in the midfield with Parma, Buendia and new boy Tammy Abraham leading the line in the number 9 shirt up front. Couple of things I need to talk you through with the squad. We have rotated it a bit due to match loads. We just want to make sure everyone's fresh for the start of the proper season. Couple of injuries. Todibo has picked up a little knock just before this game, so he's completely out. Jacob Ramsey picked up a knock during pre-season. He's just coming back as well. And Brandon Williams, we knew, was injured as well. Max Evans misses out just because we don't have enough space in the squad. And as mentioned before, Raspadori has yet to sign his new contract, his first contract with the club. It's also worth pointing out, Matty Cash definitely is starting to not look like the player we need in this position. He's down as a 3-star player. Let's be completely honest. I think, as much as I love him in real life, his usefulness is starting to come to an end. So we might need to find a new home for Matty Cash and a replacement for him as well. Worth a lot of money at the moment. We'll probably not get that, though. I wonder whether Max Aarons is going to... Max Aarons is higher rated than him at the moment. I mean, I'm going to go with Matty Cash out of loyalty, but we're going to go with that. Only new player starting is Abraham, but we do have Emil Smith-Rowe and Theat and Etienne Green on the bench. Todibo, as I mentioned, is missing out. So let's see whether we can bring the Community Shield home for the first time in this save, shall we? Most important trophy in football. Let's bring it to Villa Park. Let's go. I do just want everyone to be aware that when I call this the most important trophy in football, I am, of course, taking the mick. But you know, it's a trophy. We want to win a trophy. We want to win one at Wembley. We've become very accustomed to winning things at Wembley. We've won 3 trophies in our first 2 seasons in this save. We won 2 FA Cups and a League Cup, and I think that is fantastic. I would love to add the Community Shield to that. For the community, that's what I'd like to do. I'm very interested to see how Tammy does today, but if he doesn't do well, I am not going to... Oh, that's... Oh no. Oh, it's offside. It's fine. Oh, I thought they ripped us apart far too easily then, and they did. I mean, Matty Cash, we were talking about maybe we need to be thinking about upgrading him sooner rather than later. I hope he just knew that Jones was offside. I'm going to go with that. He knew he was offside. He knew what he was doing there, Matty Cash. He knew what he was doing. Oh! Oh no. Oh God. Matty. Why is Matty passing it back to the goalkeeper in that situation? I'm not blaming Martinez for that, although he has been a bit of a plank. Matty Cash deserves just as much of a ratings drop. Well, it's 1-0 Liverpool. Jeez. Oh, that hurts. That hurts quite a bit. Tammy got in there, and Pedro just can't put it wide. The computer struggled a bit. I've had the computer on for a little bit while I've been getting a video edited, and I've kind of left FM in the background. The cardinal sin. I've left the game running, and it jutted a little bit then. Curtis Jones is ripping us a new one. Curtis Jones was like the next big thing, and I feel like in real life, I don't know. I don't know if it's just oh my word, Mo Salah. Oh my word. It's not a good day for us, is it, today? Oh. The thing is, we've built such a good team. However, one of our new centre-backs is a backup. The other one is injured. We've only just signed the winger, so we've not thrown him in because he's had no pre-season with us. The other left-sided player hasn't signed his contract yet, and our backup goalkeeper is a championship goalkeeper who, at best, will be a good championship goalkeeper. Yeah. Oh, Cole Palmer gave the ball away a bit too easily there. Oh, you know what? I think we're going to write this one off, lads. I think we're just going to write this one off. Oh, I mean, that goal from Salah was exquisite. Tammy's in here, and Tammy Abraham scores on his second debut. Get in there, lad. And we have a goal back. I was being all doom and gloom then. Enough of that nonsense. We're going to win the trophy. That's what's going to happen. Cole Palmer with a lovely little pass here. It's a mistake from Kelleher. That's what it is. I think it's Kelleher in goal. I'm not too sure. I'm sure it was when I was looking at their squad. It is Kelleher. He's wearing number 1. What a madness. What number does Allison wear then? I don't know what number. That's going to bother me now, and it really shouldn't. It's such a little thing. Allison wears the number 13. I think I knew that. Right, we're going to encourage the boys again, because only being one behind is fine. It's absolutely fine. Matty Cash and Ezri Konsa between them clear the ball out. Emi Martinez, I'd love him to get a big save at some point, just to calm himself down a bit. Oh, Aya's on a yellow card. Darwin Núñez is there. Darwin Núñez puts it wide. We are going to tell Aya just to calm down a little bit. We don't want him getting any silly ideas about getting sent off or anything like that. Bastoni in their defence as well. I tell you what, they've got a weird team, because you've got players like Kelleher and again, I'm not having to go at Curtis Jones when I say this, because he scored against us technically twice. Curtis Jones in the team, Kelleher in the team. It's the weaker parts. Even Keita. I don't necessarily see Keita as a top-tier Liverpool player. But then they've got Bastoni and Milinkovic-Savic. Oh, goodness me. I mean, this Liverpool team, it's better than the one in real life. I'll tell you that right now. Mo Salah into Fabinho. I mean, Tammy Abraham tracking back there like an absolute G, but he just couldn't get on the ball there. We're pressing them nicely here, but I know there's going to be a killer ball in a minute. I mean, the ball goes all the way back to Kelleher. Kelleher looking for Keita. If one of our players was a bit further forward and a bit braver then... Oh, Curtis Jones has broken through again. Curtis Jones into Martinez. Darwin Núñez. And it's an absolute howler from our defence. Oh, that's absolutely shocking. Lucas Digne as well, having an absolutely awful attempt there at trying to clear it. I don't really want to watch this again, but I feel like I need to understand it. Right, Jones comes in, crosses the ball in. Martinez saves it. Mings is there. Digne just watches it. What is Digne and Mings? What are they doing? What are they doing? I don't have another goalkeeper that I trust. I'm really regretting getting... We didn't spend a lot of money on Etienne. It was like £3 million, but... I think we need to have a chat with you. We need to have a chat with you. We need to have a chat with you. We need to tell you to calm down. And we need to tell you need to sort your life out. Right. We need to make some changes. I'm starting to regret my bench, because I don't think I've got the players on the bench to actually make the changes I want. But we are going to change 2 of our defenders around. We can make 6 substitutions. We've made 2 already. I'm not taking Martinez off for Etienne Green. That's a recipe for disaster. Buendia's going to come off. We're going to just give Smith Rowe a chance. There's nothing else we can really do other than give him a chance. So Smith Rowe's going to come on, and then we'll just see how we go, and hopefully we can come back into this game. I don't know. Oh, God. Right, come on, lads. Demand more. Come on. We have the ability to get something from this game. We've got the players. We've scored a goal against them. We've just had some terrible, terrible defending. And Christopher Ayer, the vice-captain, has got us another goal back. It's 3-2 just after half-time. That is the perfect start to the second half. Thea, I think, is the one who flicks it on. I don't know whether he actually got anything on it. We'll find out in a sec when we see who got the assist. He didn't actually. He just caused a good distraction. And all of a sudden, it's 3-2. It's looking a lot better. Demand a bit more, boys. Let's carry on. And we've got another corner. It's Vitinha. He's going to be looking for Ayer again. Whips it in. Ayer's there. Smith Rowe. Oh, it just went around the other side of him. Tammy's there. And Christopher Ayer has done it again. Christopher Ayer, the unlikely hero, has scored 2 goals in this game against Liverpool. The defensive midfielder, who was our centre-back when we first signed him. Towering header, nearly gets it there to Smith Rowe to tap it in. Abraham drives it across the box, probably looking for the goal himself, but ends up getting an assist for Ayer. And all of a sudden, it's level again. What an utter madness this game has been. Oh, goodness me. Right, it's substitution o'clock. What on earth do we do? Well, I'll tell you what we are going to do. Ayer, as good as he has been, we're going to put him back into defence because Kesri Konsa's had a shocker. Sander Berge can come on. That's change number 4. I would like to take Ayer off, but I don't want to trust it. I don't really want to do that. He's on 2 goals. It would be mean not to. If we won the penalty, you bet your bottom dollar he's taking it. Right, Smith Rowe's had a good impact since coming on. Cole Palmer's knackered though, so Smith Rowe is going to go over to the right instead, and Coutinho is going to come on. Not in the position I said he was going to come into. He's going to play out wide, and I think we'll leave things at that for now. And then if we have any last-minute moments where we feel like we need to make a change, we will. But let's just see whether we can either hold out till penalties or even steal a winner. Oh my God, it's another corner. Berge is there. Sander Berge has just scored our 4th. And we might just be about to steal the Community Shield away from Liverpool. And it will be grand theft of the highest kind. Liverpool were dominant in the first half, and we've turned it around. But it's not over yet. We came back, so can they. So we need to just keep up. I'm going to switch to a more defensive tactic at some point. But let's just see whether we can just get the ball off of them first. Bjorkan cannot get the ball off Mo Salah. Mo Salah now looking for options. Goes for the shot. Martinez is there, and Thea just hoofs it clear, which was the right thing to do. Martinez has recovered to a 6.5. He was at a 6.2 at one point. And now we might be breaking again. Tammy Abraham holding the ball up. Gets it to Emil Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe now looking to drive out to the right-hand side. I'm very excited to see how good a player he is in this team. Alongside Tammy Abraham, we've signed a couple of English players. And I didn't really go into this with an English-focused plan with the squad. I was kind of just going for the best players. But actually, we have got a relatively good core of English players in the team. And it's nice to sign a couple of guys like Abraham and Smith Rowe who aren't just going to be English players in the squad for the sake of it. They're going to be starting. Smith Rowe will definitely be starting games. But in particular, Tammy will 100% be one of the best players. Demand more. Well, I mean, I did say it, didn't I? We came back into this game, so can Liverpool. So let's just try and get a bit more out of this game, shall we? I mean, 4-4, I think for the way that this game has been played, XG is nearly exact. What a game this has been. What a game. Are we going to get one more highlight? I don't think we are. And it's penalties. What a game of football. I tell you what, I know it's a bit of a cliche, that's the word I'm looking for. Bit of a cliche. What a great game for the neutral. Absolutely superb. Emil Smith Rowe is apparently very good at penalties, so I think we need to be popping him onto the list as well. Emi Martinez, definitely last. No offence, Emi, but you've not had a good one. Right, Sander Berge, Christopher Ayer can take number 5. I mean, really? Do I want Christopher Ayer taking number 5? Yeah, probably. He's composed. Gonçalves probably needs to be next as well. Okay, that's our penalty list. Tammy, Coutinho, Burge, Smith Rowe, Ayer. There are 5, and then everyone else is everyone else. What's the worst that could happen? Just relax, boys. Just relax. Oh, we've completely ruined Emi Martinez. It's a bit of a concern when he's going to be the one who's saving them. Right, let's do it, shall we? Tammy steps up, first penalty. He scored in the game. He got an assist as well. Let's see whether he can get us ahead in the penalty shootout. And Kelleher goes the right way, but does not save it. And it is 1-0 to us in the shootout. And it's Mo Salah versus a poor form, disgruntled Emi Martinez. And Emi Martinez goes the right way, can't save it. Twice in 2 penalties. The keeper's gone the right way, but hasn't been able to get his hands on it. It is 1-1. And Coutinho versus Kelleher for our second penalty. And Coutinho, again, Kelleher's going the right way. They've done their homework. But, I mean, looking at Martinez for the first penalty for us, so have we. Irving Lozano, who we did look at one point as a signing, steps up for Liverpool. And Emi Martinez was the villain for 2 of their goals. Might have just turned himself into the hero. We need to see how the rest of the shootout goes. But we lead 2-1 with all things square. And Sander Berge makes it 3-1. We have an advantage in the penalty shootout. Oh, we've had to work for this. If we win this, it'll be insane. Fabinho now versus Martinez. Cool as you like. Fabinho's a great penalty taker in real life, I think, as well. So that was something you would expect. Right, Emil Smith Rowe, new boy. Played really well when he came onto the pitch. Can he get a penalty as well? Yes, he can. Lovely penalty into the bottom corner. They're always the best when they go into the top corner of the goal. But sometimes the ones like that are just perfect. And Liverpool need to score. I'm just looking at that. I'm thinking, why have we got the slow wall? But yeah, Sergio Milinkovic-Savic, who I would expect to score this penalty, he needs to score. Otherwise, Liverpool do not win. He scores. And now all of the pressure, God, is on vice-captain. Vice-captain fantastic. Christopher 2 goals. Christopher Ayer. He got a brace in the game towards the end of last season as well. Like, a really ridiculous brace. Scored an absolute super goal as well. He might have been in the City game in the Champions League. Right, Ayer steps up to win us the trophy. Cool as you like. Christopher Ayer, the vice-captain, who will be the captain if and when Tyrone Mings leaves the club. Christopher Ayer scores the penalty after scoring the goals to get us back into the game. That wins us our first Community Shield of the save. Most important trophy in world football. And we've won it. I don't have a little dish, so I'm going to lift the normal trophy. But there we have it. Community Shield. Done. Most important trophy in world football. That was a bit of a roller coaster. Oh my word. I don't know who number 23 is, but he did a cartwheel. I much appreciate it. It's Coutinho, isn't it? I think it's Coutinho's 23. I didn't know Coutinho was capable of doing cartwheels. That was a bloody good game. Again, scores in normal time. I mean, the Curtis Jones goal ruined me completely. I don't want to think about that goal ever again, but I've got a feeling it's going to haunt me for some time. But Christopher Ayer, it's not technically got a hat-trick. I'd give him the match ball. Absolutely superb. And Emi Martinez getting back up to 6.9, quite frankly, is ridiculous. But in the best way. The absolute best way. Right, I'm going to go for a lie down. Because I am absolutely shattered. Okay, we've obviously got the transfer for Raspadori and also for Niles that we're waiting on. But we will be back in-game in a week's time for you, whenever the next video comes out, for the first 2 games of the season. One of them against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Fine, no problem at all. The other one, it's against sodding Liverpool, isn't it? Because of course it is. Of course it is. Well, we'll come back for those 2 games and we'll see just how well we start this Premier League season. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please do leave a like on the channel and subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely football content that is to come, including FM23, which is going to be out very, very soon. I've been Stubo, you guys have been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.